Awesome. Awesome. Hey, look, it's an entertainment business. Are you not entertained? It's entertaining. Bring in Cam Newton. What the hell? Who cares if it helps the football team win games? You get the fan base excited, and now it's for the coaching staff to figure out how to use him. But they had a need. And David Tepper, the owner of the team, Peter, is in franchise quarterback treasure hunt mode. And he is going to look anywhere he can, under any rock that he can lift, to try to find a franchise quarterback. Tried it with Teddy Bridgewater, didn't work. Sam Darnold, didn't work. Half a season with Cam Newton, unlikely that Newton will be the guy next year, but at least gets us through this year. And who knows? Who knows what we'll see in Cam Newton? Who knows? What the hell? But meanwhile, they don't have to worry about Darnold. They don't have to worry about P.J. Walker. And they do get a little boost as they go down the stretch. And Christian McCaffrey's healthy again. And they're in the NFC, wide open for the 7th seed, and you could maybe even put the 6th seed in that category as well. We know who the 5 best teams in the NFC are. Beyond that, who knows? Well, there's 2 playoff spots for who knows. And maybe the Panthers with Cam Newton, it all lines up, and they can make a run at this. I was stunned by the news, and I'm delighted by it. It makes it, we talked earlier about fun. Something like this is fun to me.
I don't mean to be the one who is passing gas in Sunday, Mike, but I do want to just point one thing out. The Carolina Panthers guaranteed $4.5 million to a quarterback who's been on the street for 2 months, who has had little, if any, interest in him, and who last year played for the New England Patriots when he was only slightly tarnished, for a total of $3.75 million. I just want to know, why do you pay Cam Newton that much money guaranteed for half a season of football? I am mind-boggled. I'm befuddled. Maybe it's you're trying to make up and kiss and make up with the guy, and so you give him enough money to buy his dream house in Turks and Caicos. I don't know. But I thought that was in a year when the salary cap is shrinking drastically, for anybody to guarantee Cam Newton for half a season that amount of money is just weird.
Well, but we got to look at the full context here. One of the reasons he was available for 2 months was because the planets had to line up perfectly. No one was going to sign him to be a backup. He wasn't going to sign to be a backup. It had to be a situation where starting quarterback done, and the next man up is somebody that you really don't want to be your starting quarterback. So Darnold injured, and even if he's not injured, even if he's just injured, they're done with him. P.J. Walker, not the answer for half of a season when you're still very much alive for a wild card berth. So, perfect opportunity for Cam Newton. Perfect chance for him to come home. And that $4.5 million could be money well spent because the ticket demand in Carolina has already spiked. It's a great homecoming feel for a guy who was the MVP of the league in 2015 and was with the Panthers for a decade. And, you know, we'll see what he's got left in the tank. There were mixed opinions around the league as to how close to E the needle is for Cam Newton. Well, he's going to have a chance to show it. And you know, this is my I made this argument when the Colts signed Phillip Rivers and gave him $25 million, the same $25 million that Drew Brees got last year and that Tom Brady got last year. And I said that Phillip Rivers should basically wear a ski mask the entire season. Part of what you need to do is you know, you got to pay your quarterback in a way that makes sure there's no doubt that he's the man. And with Cam Newton, he walks through the door, he's the man. You got to give him a contract that supports the idea that he's the man. And now they'll see. They'll see whether or not it works. I think it's going to be fun to watch.
I mean, I guess so. I watched Cam Newton play football last year. Did you?
Yes.
I mean, and look, I think probably.
Why'd they re-sign him, Peter? Peter, why'd they re-sign him then? Why did the Patriots re-sign him and go through that charade if he was so bad last year? Cam Newton. If he was so bad last year, why didn't they just say, see you later?
Because it's better than Brian Hoyer. That's why. It's better than Brian Hoyer, and they signed him for a song. They signed him for nothing.
No, Peter, they had other options. There were other guys out there. There were free agents galore at the quarterback position. There are guys out there. I mean, they could. I'm just saying, if they decided that Cam Newton was a failure, they would have never re-signed him.
But Mike, he did not play well in any way, shape, or form. He ran it for a few touchdowns. How did he throw the ball? Was he reliable? Was he great? No, he wasn't. Yeah. He had a lousy year in New England. And the only point I'm making is that in the NFL, in my opinion, I'm not sure why you pay all that money for a guy when you don't have to. If Cam Newton is going to demand all this money, just say, hey, listen, this is the only place you're going to have an opportunity with a team remotely on the edge of a playoff race. And also, here's my other question. David Tepper has now paid all this money for, and I forget who tweeted it yesterday, they've paid a lot of money for a replacement for Cam Newton, and now they've paid money, $4.5 million, for Cam Newton to replace the guy who was supposed to replace Cam Newton. And so on and on and on it goes. And what have they done? They are selling the farm. They're spending all this money for what, a 40% chance to win the 7th seed and to get blown out by whoever in the first round of the playoffs. I don't know, Mike. I'm not a big fan of this move at all.
Well, David Tepper is a guy who is very aggressive, and he is determined. And this has resonated with me for 3 or 4 years now. Whenever they were the target of the All or Nothing series from Amazon that has gone away, and I don't think it's coming back, unfortunately, although the in-season Hard Knocks debuts next week. David Tepper, riding in the back of an SUV, said that the league is set up for all teams to be 8-8, and you bend it in your favor with a great coach, a great GM, and most importantly, a great quarterback. He's determined to get that great quarterback. He wanted Deshaun Watson. It didn't work out. And I'm not saying that David Tepper is so misinformed that he thinks Cam Newton is going to come back and be the guy for the next decade, but he's a guy that can at least be the placeholder while they continue their search in the offseason, whether it's Deshaun Watson or someone else who can come in and be their franchise quarterback. But they still have to get through the games. They want the stadium to be full. They want the fan base to be engaged. And I think that's why he's decided midway through the season, I got to scrap what was plan A for this year. We already know that plan A for this year is a failure. Let's make chicken salad and let's get to April, and we'll go back to the lab and figure out who our quarterback is. And Peter, look, to your point, if this ends up being a disaster, I was on radio in Charlotte the other day, and they were asking me if Matt Rhule's on the hot seat, and it's like, there's no way in hell he's on the hot seat. He's 2 years into his contract. They're paying him $9 million a year. But you know what? One thing we've learned about David Tepper, he doesn't wait to admit a mistake. He doesn't wait to double down and see if it gets better. Once he decides you're not the guy, you're done. You're gone. So if I'm Matt Rhule, I don't want to be the subject of that evaluation after the season from a guy who, right or wrong, like it or not, he is not going to be very patient. We've seen it with quarterbacks, and now we've seen this impulsive move to get Cam Newton. Matt Rhule better make the best batch of chicken salad he can, because I think at some level it's going to creep into David Tepper's thought process. Maybe I didn't get the right coach. So it's going to be a fascinating rest of the season.
David Tepper also studied at the altar of the Rooneys, and he's not firing Matt Rhule after 2 years unless Matt Rhule puts.
So did Jimmy Haslam. So did Jimmy Haslam, Peter. Jimmy Haslam studied at the altar of the Rooneys too, and look what happened there.
Right.
I'm just telling you, these guys get impatient.
I do understand.
They get impatient.
I do understand that. But the first coaches who Jimmy Haslam hired were not Matt Rhule. We're not going to Waco, Texas, and sitting in his living room and offering him $9 million a year to not go interview with the New York Giants, but to come back on a plane and get introduced as the coach of the Carolina Panthers. He's not firing Matt Rhule if the rest of this year is a debacle. Now, I don't know why they gave Matt Rhule or they gave Cam Newton all this money. I don't know why. But I have.
Maybe it's the same reason they gave Matt Rhule all the money. Maybe the guy with billions just pisses away money. Maybe that's the explanation. There's more where that came from. What are they?
I have my suspicions that David Tepper photographed with Cam Newton was somewhere in the foreground of making that decision, of giving him all this money, which is just, it's Mike, it's mind-boggling. It just is. I'm sorry. There's no other way for me to look at it.
Peter, I reject now and forever this notion that we hear from time to time that owners aren't involved in football decisions. I've hired people for that. I don't tell them what to do. Bull crap. The owners make known what they want. One of the privileges of being a billionaire is you don't have to ever give a direct order. The people around you who are smart figure out what you want, and if they want to continue to work for you, they do it. And Tepper probably isn't even that subtle. This is his team. He's going to do what he wants with that team. If he wants to waste money on Teddy Bridgewater, he'll do it. If he wants to waste money on Sam Darnold, who he owes $18 million next year, guaranteed, fully and completely, he'll do it. He'll do whatever the hell he wants because that's the mindset of the oligarch. That's how it is. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's not. I'd love to be an oligarch. Please give me the roadmap to become an oligarch. The life of an oligarch is great. You can spend however much money you want on whatever you want. You want something, whatever it costs, go get it. You want Matt Rhule? You don't want him to go to the Giants? What's it take? $9 million? Who the hell cares? There's no salary cap for coaches. I got plenty. I got billions. I'll pay the guy $9 million a year. So I'm just saying we have a personality coaching or owning a team that is erratic and unpredictable in a fun way for me because I like that element because it keeps things very interesting. And if you don't have David Tepper owning that team, I don't think they make that move yesterday, Peter.
Mike, just follow my logic here for a second because it's illogical logic. The Carolina Panthers, most likely, in a span of 25 months, are going to pay $63 million to Teddy Bridgewater, which, however much he earned to that, whatever it is, right? You're going to pay a lot to Teddy Bridgewater to replace Cam Newton. Then they're going to pay $18 million next year guaranteed for a player, Sam Darnold, who they thought might replace Cam Newton and Teddy Bridgewater. And now they're bringing in Cam Newton, a tarnished former hero, and guaranteeing him money that no one else in the league was ever going to come close to replace Sam Darnold, who couldn't replace Teddy Bridgewater, who couldn't replace Cam Newton. And you know what's going to happen next March? They're going to be all in on any quarterback who is warm-blooded and who has a chance to be their long-term quarterback. I mean, at some point, don't you get a little bit dizzy from all the mistakes that they make evaluating the quarterback position?
Hey, Peter, I'll add this. If Deshaun Watson had been willing to trade or waive his no-trade clause and go to the Panthers, they would have given the Texans whatever they want, and they would have taken on Deshaun Watson without regard to the 22 pending civil complaints or the 10 criminal complaints. They weren't batting an eye. That was where it was postured a couple of weeks ago, where the Dolphins wanted the cases to be settled. David Tepper and the Panthers were there saying, hey, Deshaun, come here. We don't care. We're fine. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll give the Texans what they want. Let's do it. So he's desperate to get a top 5 quarterback. And the thing is, he's going to keep swinging the bat until it happens. And he may clunk himself in the head a few times along the way, but he's not going to stop. And right or wrong, it's fascinating that there's an owner who is that hell-bent on getting a franchise quarterback that he is willing to be that aggressive to the point where millions are being poured down a dry hole.
I mean, my only point, and the reason we're talking about this today, is that they made a decision yesterday that I just frankly do not understand in any way. And look, I will understand it, I suppose, if Cam Newton plays at his 2015 level. And I'll tell you what, it'll be the comeback story of any year if he does. And good luck to them. And look, I'm not wishing them ill in any way, but I just think logically this thing yesterday makes no sense.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.